Facebook. This is Joy Johnson here. We're going to be talking about how and when to revise and update your vision board. But first, my oldest child wants to say hello.
Hi.
That's Layla. Bye, Layla.
Bye. Hi, bye.
All right.
Okay, bye. Oh.
Bye.
Oh.
All right, so today we're going to talk about vision boards and when to write them, when to revise them more importantly, and when to look at them. So a lot of times people will have a vision board. They'll do them at the beginning of the year. They'll have vision board parties. They'll have goal board or goal posters, which to me are kind of one and the same, but others may disagree. And the purpose is to write things down because you have all these ideas swirling in your head, things you want to accomplish, types of cars you want, the kind of house you want, the type of career you want. So the biggest thing though is you want to actually write them down because if things swirl around in your head constantly, it's never going to get done. So let's just fast forward. You've done the vision board. It's awesome. You might have had your girls or your guys over. You might have had some chips, some dip, some water, some punch, and you've done it, right? And then you stick it into a closet and then you never pick it back up. So it does you no real purpose if you don't keep it someplace visible. So that's my first point is once you do the vision board, then put it someplace visible where you can see it all the time. I like to put it someplace that I go in, like my bathroom, or you can put it in your pantry. Put it in a place, maybe if it's for work, put it in a place for work that you're going to constantly go in. So maybe your closet or in your office or your cubicle. You can also put it in a place where your family can see it. That way they can kind of remind you like, hey, this is a goal that we have. So that's the main purpose of the vision or the goal poster is to know what your goals are, have them in plain sight, have them written out, and that way they're a constant reminder as to what it is you're trying to accomplish. So the other point that I want to highlight is making sure that you look at it again and again and again and kind of check off the things that you've actually accomplished. Sometimes we look at the broad goal, the big goal, the goal that might take us 5, 6, 10 years and kind of feel like, well, I'm not there yet. But you need to also celebrate the small victories. So if maybe your goal is to earn more money, let's say in your business you earned $20,000 and you say, okay, well this year I want to double that. I want to make $40,000. Well, if you're tracking what you're doing per month, so let's say January 2018, you look at January 2017 and you're like, oh, I made an extra $500 compared to last year. That's a small victory. That's something to be excited or proud about. So even though you want to make $20,000 extra for the whole year, you want to definitely celebrate those small stepping stones that you come across. So be sure that you keep it someplace where you can check it off. One of the main reasons that I wanted to talk about this topic is because we're in June and I have a brand new goal that I'm trying to accomplish for my own business. And so I was like, you know what? I don't think a lot of people realize that you need to pull that vision board or goal poster back out. So for me, I'm actually going to revise my poster. So I did my poster at the beginning of the year, but I have some new goals. I have some new things that I'm trying to accomplish before December 31st. So I'm going to pull it back out and make some adjustments. And that's okay. It's okay to make adjustments. We all know how crazy life is and how 1 minute things are going one way and the next minute things are going another way. So you want to be sure that you give yourself permission to make changes to your goal or your vision. I always like to keep things in mind that your purpose in life doesn't change, but your vehicle by which you accomplish the purpose may change. So for example, one of my purposes in life, my main purpose is to serve others. And by doing so, I do that through the beauty industry. And so starting off in the business, I worked in someone else's salon. and built my clientele. And from there, I opened up my own space that was probably about 100 square feet. You can walk in, turn around, walk right out. And then from there, I moved to a larger space. That was probably about 600 square feet. From there, I moved to about 1,500 square feet. That was like my dream place. And ended up changing and being a mobile business. So I kind of went through all those different steps, but ended up making another change that was completely and drastically different from my original goal or my original thought of what I wanted to do. But my purpose is still the same. I'm still serving others. I'm still in the beauty business. It's just the vehicle by which I serve has changed. So you want to keep that flexibility in your mind, even if you're a person like me that doesn't like change whatsoever. If it works, why change it is my motto. But because life doesn't allow things to stay stagnant and things are constantly in motion, that's not necessarily the case. So give yourself permission to change the vehicle by which you're accomplishing those goals or by which you are fulfilling your purpose. So some other things that I wanted to mention is don't feel like you have to be only good or only great at one thing. So I know there's a huge narrative that goes around that talks about, do one thing and focus on it, which I completely agree with. Find something to focus on it, master it. But again, give yourself permission to think of what other things you're interested in, what other things you would be good at. So I think the issue comes in is when people want to start new projects all at the same time versus starting and finishing a project and then opening themselves up to another opportunity. So within your vision board or your goal poster, you want to make sure that you create some flexibility. My industry is the beauty business, but I really consider myself a true entrepreneur in that there are other things that I want to do. There are other goals that I want to accomplish that have nothing to do with the beauty business. Maybe indirectly a few things, and some things nothing to do with the beauty business. So you don't want to get caught up with being, held hostage by titles or being held hostage by things that people are familiar in seeing you do. So you want to have that opportunity to, give yourself some room, give yourself some flexibility. We are very diverse and vast creatures. There's more than one thing that interests us. So don't feel as though you have to be stagnant in certain things. And then also, when you're creating that vision board and when you're revising that vision board, create some steps, some points of action. So, the example I used a few moments ago was making more money in your business. Okay, that's your goal. What are some action items that you can put with that? So, okay, I want to make another $20,000. Okay, great. How? So put some steps down. Marketing to senior citizens, or marketing to millennials, or speaking to a specific industry of people, maybe real estate agents or janitors or journeymen or electricians. So figure out other ways and steps that you can actually try to expand that business. So to give you an example with my business, I actually, because I'm in the beauty business, decided that I wanted to do something where I work with podiatrists to increase some referrals. And so that was a way that I was able to increase business because I was receiving business from a more reputable source, such as a doctor. So, it's kind of like if your doctor refers you to someone, then the trust factor is there. So that's something that you can think of too in terms of revising or updating that vision board. So make sure you keep it someplace visible. Make sure that you keep it flexible and open in terms of the things that you want to accomplish. I normally put everything that I want to do, personal and business, on my vision board. That way, it's all there. I don't have to look at several boards, but some people like to have them more concentrated. You want to be able to give yourself some flexibility in the vehicle by which you accomplish those goals. The beginning of the year, you may think that you're going to do things one way, and by the end of the year, you can be doing something the polar opposite. So give yourself some openness in that. And then also you want to make sure that you incorporate your family, incorporate your support system, your friends, because sometimes they can say, well, isn't that such and such on your vision board, or isn't that such and such? That kind of helps you to keep staying on track, and then also making sure that it's someplace visible. So the goal today was to make sure that you all can think outside the box. Don't have a good time putting these vision boards together and then leave them in a corner somewhere. Actually pull them out, make adjustments, check stuff off. By the end of the year, it should be all scratched over with updates and changes as life hands you updates and changes. So let's see, got any questions on here? Hey, Miss Sharon. Hey, Floyd. Hey, Damian. Hey, Steven. Hey, Miss Tuffy. All right, you guys. So I'm going to come back and we're going to talk about, in my next video, I'm going to leave it a surprise. But we're going to talk about very soon another topic that I think a lot of people can relate to, and we're going to have some good tips about how to progress and move forward and ultimately find your joy. And I look forward to seeing you guys next week.